YOLO, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 48 of the Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they could help. With that being said, let's cover the positive words of the day since the last time I saw you, which was a couple of weeks ago. So the positive word of today is obviously start, which means the beginning, which is a very fine place to start. With that being said, you've all heard that saying, today's the first day of the rest of your life. And it's October 1st, so I figured what the heck. Now, things that we're going to be starting today are, we're going to catch up on the positive words of the day since I saw you last. And then we're going to start some things. We're going to start a potato yeast starter. And I figured I really was starting to get into, listen to me using that word every 3 seconds, into making my own stuff. So what I mean by that is the potato yeast starter. And then we're going to make our own pizza sauce. And then I'm going to go over a couple other quick little tips that I learned about while going through this whole process. But first I want to cover the positive words of the day since the last time I saw you. Well, not saw you, but you saw me maybe. So we're going to start with September 18th. I picked gracious, which means courteous, kind, and pleasant, into the little positivity bank we got going. All right. For the 19th, I picked surpass, which means exceed, be greater than. For the 20th, I picked tranquility, the quality or state of being tranquil, calm. For the 21st, I picked optimistic, which is hopeful and confident about the future. For the 22nd, I picked cooperative, involving mutual assistance in working toward a common goal. I don't know why I keep talking like that. For the September 23rd, I picked comfort, the ease or alleviation of a person's feelings of grief or distress. It also said freedom from pain, so I don't know why I picked it for that day. Excuse me, the 24th is confidence, the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something certain. I don't know, this German is big enough. For the 25th, I picked appreciation, recognition or enjoyment. Recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of someone or something. For the 26th, I picked progress, forward or onward movement toward a destination. For the 27th, I picked goal, which is the object of a person's ambition or effort and aim or desire. I still keep doing it. Motivation, reason one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Just sounds wrong if I don't end it on an up note. Incentive, a thing that motivates or encourages one to do something. Enterprise, a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. That was from yesterday. And then start, the beginning. Okay. Got the positive words of the day out of the way. Remember the other two new challenges are the movement, which is just motivating yourself to get off your butt. And then the other one was your alone time, sitting in a room, scared as hell, trying to figure out what your life is supposed to be like. Anyway, all right, so we're going to make some potato starter, but I wanted to go over a couple other things. So in the process of making this pizza sauce, the reason I decided to make pizza sauce on this episode specifically was because our grocery store had clearance tomatoes. Now I know it says fresh tomatoes. I consider them pretty fresh. They're still red. But what I also was reading was that you can freeze fresh tomatoes. So now I have quite a bit of tomatoes left because we only need 5 cups. And I don't even know if I have quite 5 cups there, but it's pretty close. And I don't want to start getting it because these are actually other different types of tomatoes too. So what it said to do, and I'm not going to do it right now because we got a lot of other things to cover, was to cut them into wedges and make sure you take the core out, and then cut them in wedges and then place them on a baking sheet and cover them with plastic wrap, and then put them in the freezer until they're frozen. I know, shocking, right? And then what you're supposed to do is then put them in like freezer bags and then, mark them and date them and something like that. And then the other thing I learned about is that you can vacuum seal just about any like Ziploc bag or anything like that if you just use a straw. Duh, I don't know why I never thought of that. But you just stick the straw in and you seal the Ziploc bag closed, and then you suck all the air out. My mind is blown. I cannot believe this simple trick. And I knew suction with the space bags and all that stuff worked. But I'm like, why didn't I think about that for all of my, all of my freezer stuff? I wonder if that would work with those potato chip bag clip things, if you can somehow stick the straw. You'd probably be sucking up potato chip crumbs. All right. So anyway, first thing we're going to do, well, not the first thing, but is we're going to make our potato yeast starter. So I've got this jar here. They said that you need a covered container. All right. And then in each of these things, I will list off what I'm putting in here. This is 3 tablespoons of instant potato flakes. Yeah, I know, right? And then we have 3 tablespoons of white sugar. And I was trying to read about if there's other ways or other types of sugars you can use, and I couldn't find anything. Everything said white sugar. And then 1 packet of dry active yeast. Okay. And then 1 cup of warm water. So what I'm going to do is, I know they'd usually like you to regulate the temperature on it. That's cold. Because when I was making yeast doughs not too far back, they made you take the temperature of the water, and they said between 109 and 110 or something of that nature. But by the time you get it into the container and stuff, feels like it automatically drops in temperature. My hot water obviously takes a very long time to get warm. All right. Okay, let's see. Do we have a cup? Okay. And then what we're going to do, it's pretty hot. I'm going to let it set for a second. Okay, and then what does it say we have to do after that? Do we have to mix or shake it up? I got to put my spectacles on. I feel like my lighting is off today. I don't know what is wrong. I haven't moved my lights or anything. Okay, combine the instant potatoes, sugar, yeast, and warm water in a covered container. Let the starter sit on the counter for 5 days, stirring occasionally with a wooden spoon. On the morning of the 5th day, feed the starter with 3 more tablespoons of instant potatoes, 3 more tablespoons of sugar, and 1 more cup of warm water. And that's on the morning of the 5th day. And in the evening, take out 1 cup of the starter to use in a sourdough recipe and refrigerate the remaining starter. Every 5 days, feed the starter, the potatoes, and the sugar and the water. And if the starter is to be used in a recipe, let the fed starter rest at room temperature 6 hours before use. If the starter is to be used in a recipe, let the rest at room temperature 6 hours before use. Well, can't you just leave it out on the counter? I wonder if we can do that. It says keep refrigerated and discard 1 cup of starter after each feeding. But I also read that you can actually, that's about right. You can actually, this might not be big enough. use the discarded stuff. So maybe that's what she means. Once you take it out of the refrigerator. Okay. It says combine, but it doesn't say how. So I'm just going to use a fork. I don't want it all sitting at the bottom. Make sure it's all off the side. I don't know why it got stuck to the sides. There we go. All right. And then we're supposed to let it sit for 5 days. So 5 days from now is the 6th. Speaking of which, my anniversary, my 25th wedding anniversary is 4 days from today. Woohoo! I can't believe it. Okay. So I think I'm going to just write on here with one of my dry erase markers. Actually, I have a marker in the drawer over here. I'm just going to write on here the 5th day, which would be October 6th. So then I know to, that's when I need to add I need to feed the beast. Feed me, Seymour. Okay, so this is going to go sit on my counter. I think I'll put it over here. I just want to make sure there was nothing. Okay. Ta-da! First thing done. Don't you love it? Okay. All right. Next thing up. I can't believe we're going this fast already. Is our pizza sauce. All right. So what's involved in our pizza sauce is 5 cups of fresh tomatoes, 3 minced garlic cloves, and I'm just using minced garlic because my garlic cloves were nasty. You need 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a half a teaspoon of salt, 5 fresh basil leaves, a half a teaspoon of, I just realized I need my measuring spoon, half a teaspoon of dried oregano, and a pinch of sugar. All right, so in a medium pot, which I have sitting over here, we're going to heat the olive oil to medium low. Okay. Wait, how many? 2 tablespoons. Okay. That's where I misread what I was reading. Do I act like I'm in the world all by myself sometimes? Yes. All right. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into our pan. Normally I don't measure, but I don't want the pizza sauce to be too oily. Put that in there along with my whole pile of things. All right, so we're going to heat this up to medium low. This stove is very finicky. I've never had one where the burners are so, like, it doesn't take long to heat things, I guess is what I'm getting at. So it catches me off guard. All right, medium low, it said. And we're going to put our garlic, which I'm just going to count out like three of these spoonfuls full of, I like garlic. 1, 2, and 3. That's a good amount. But I think with fresh tomatoes, you need a good amount of seasoning. All right, so we're going to plop that over there. We're going to get that sauteing for about 3 to 4 minutes. Let me get a spoon. So, okay, so let's go over things that have been going on. Jordan heard from the museum, and he started today. He's working 8 to 4, I think, was the hours. So we got that taken care of. We got some jobs. He's got 3 or 4 now. But then, yeah, he's having a hard time finding a place to live. So that is where we're at now. trying to figure out where the kid's going to live. And we got a couple feelers out there, and, you know, Mom has been looking a lot and finding him a lot. So he thought he had one, and the people screwed him. He went and told his roommates and everything that he had found a place, that they liked him and all that good fun stuff. Nope, Socks, go, go, go. You already been out. Just recently, sorry. I have to take care of the animals sometimes. So yeah, he told his roommate, and he also had another, I want to say backup apartment, but it was. And, it was more money. And he told that guy that he didn't need the apartment. And then they tell him, oh, that night after we offered it to you, we had a friend that said they needed an apartment, place to live. And there you go. So that has been our fun this week. Now I got it on too low, I think. All right. Then it says we can add, what does it say to do to our basil? Doesn't say to like, it just says 5 fresh basil leaves. So I don't know. I think I'm going to cut them up. Salt. Oh, they want us to use a hand blender. That's why. And I was just going to mash things personally. So I think I'm going to cut up my basil. All right. That's been about 2, 3, 4 minutes. And then we're going to get our maters in there. Now, they had me get the seeds out. And what I did was I started to squeeze out the seeds, and then I'm like, okay, then I'm losing all my juice, and I don't know. That seems like that would play an important role. Silly me. But anyway, where was I going with that? I left some of the seeds in. What do you think about that? And then I thought this was opened. Tis. All right. Here's how I feel about basil, because I don't know. It's got this strong scent, but I love it in things. I don't know if I necessarily like it like on things, you know, like the crazy salad and stuff. I'm not sure I'm a big fan, because it kind of has a little bit of a licoricey smell to it, and I'm not really a big fan of the licorice. It said 5 leaves, but these leaves I got here are pretty big, so I'm only going to use 4. Sorry, I got my back to you once again. I'm really good at that. I think I'd move the camera. Well, now that I got a new phone, my son said that maybe I should just try my new phone, because he said it's got some decent picture quality to it. It was like a 48 megapixel camera or something. That means nothing to me in the general scheme of things, but I just thought you'd like to know. Okay, so I'm going to chiffonade them, which is basically roll it into like a tube. They like to say cigar. And then just chop it up into strings. I'm just trying to get the flavor in there. All right. So we're going to drop this in. Get them all broken up. You know, my thought process too was, instead of turning on the hand blender and scaring my aminal, I would just mash it with my potato masher. So I'm going to see how that works. And if it makes it too chunky, I'll blend it later. Okay, the other thing was, how much salt? No, that's the half teaspoon of dried oregano. Oh, it is a half teaspoon. Okay. All right. So it's a half a teaspoon of salt, which to me, for tomatoes, does not seem like enough. So I'm putting some extra. And then they said a pinch of sugar, which again, and a half teaspoon of oregano that I just bought and forgot to take the thingy off. Wouldn't you know? Yeah, she's gonna be a Dickens. Come on. Okay. I didn't want to do this because I usually end up stabbing myself. And then I wonder how I got that boo-boo. Okay. Half a teaspoon of dried oregano. Again, I don't feel like that's enough. Okay. Whew. And then it said like a pinch of sugar, but again, who knows what that means. Okay. And you're supposed to cook this I have a feeling you're going to have to adjust your seasonings along the way. I used Roma tomatoes for this, and that's why I didn't put those other tomatoes in here, because they're just like regular beefsteak, I'm guessing. All right, so how long am I supposed to cook this for? And oregano, 2 pan, and simmer slowly for 30 minutes. Oh! I was supposed to add the sugar halfway through. Well, it's in there now. I don't think it's going to change anything. And do I have it on low? I do. I do. Okay. So if it's supposed to be on a slow simmer, I think that you're supposed to just be cooking the shit out of them, right? So that when you do decide to blend it, that it blends up pretty quickly. I did buy oregano at the dollar store and got a way bigger bottle. Crap. Ugh. I thought I bought Italian seasoning at the dollar store. I'm so mad. Okay. And then, I don't know why this is, and maybe somebody can answer this for me. Why is it that, I'm trying to think of the different, there we go, the different the different herbs that come in these containers, like basil and rosemary and, I'm trying to think of the other ones. I don't know, there's 6 or 7 of them in these plastic containers, and this little container of basil was almost $4. And I'm trying to figure out, is basil and rosemary and those kinds of things hard to grow? That it is so much money for a little bit? When you think about like dill and cilantro and parsley, those are all super cheap. You know, I buy parsley like maybe once or twice a week because of the rabbit, and it's 70 cents for a big bunch. So what is so special? I guess oregano, fresh oregano, and that is also kind of on the expensive side too. I was just curious if anybody knew. Maybe y'all can answer that question for me. Okay, so the plan going forward is to start, you like how I did that? Start making things. I'm going to get my chair so I can sit. I'm coming around. Coming around. I didn't know this was going to be so quick. I'm going to start working on my own recipes for things. So, the next thing I want to do, but I forgot to look for today, and I'm going to look for the next time I get to the store, is vanilla beans, because I'm going to make my own vanilla extract. Vanilla extract is so expensive. And it really is just vodka and beans that you let set. I know they take a long time to cure or turn into the extract, but I mean, I got a little bit for now, and if I can just keep adding to it, So that was one of the things. You can make your own baking powder. You can make your own cake flour, those kinds of things. So going forward, I'm looking to accomplish a couple things. I started the potato starter because I'm looking at using that as an option for the recipe to see if that is a way to make it for less money. So I'm saying that the box of potatoes that I got was pretty big, and it's Hungry Jack, whatever it is. I don't remember the brand. It's huge, and it was like almost $3. And then, of course, sugar is super cheap. I do want to see if there's alternatives to using white sugar for that. I know it helps in the fermentation process, but I didn't know if that was the only thing. We're breaking down really nice here. I didn't really keep a timer. Let's see. Let's do. I'm sure it wasn't 10 minutes already, but ketchup, I'm not a big fan, but I think that's what I'm going to do with some of these tomatoes that I still have to work with. I'm going to see how hard it is to make my own ketchup. Gosh, I can't even think of all the different things that I said I was going to make for myself, and see if those types of things would be better homemade when you're keeping track of all the ingredients. A lot of times it is more healthy or has less of the preservatives in it. And I think just going forward, being able to keep those things on a continuous loop kind of is going to be easier than trying to go to the store every time we need something, when it can easily just be made on site. And having the idea of using fresh fruits and vegetables for a lot of the recipes kind of is conducive to the making of the own ketchup and that kind of thing. Somebody sounds like they're chopping down their whole yard of trees or something out there. You hear it? All right, so then when I'm done with the pizza, I think I said pasta sauce just a minute ago, but with the, it's juicing up nice, guys. And we kept the skins on for this too. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but we did keep the tomato skins on. It smells good. You know what I would do though, and I think I'm going to if I have one handy. And if this is cheating, so be it. I have, if I can find them in my mess here. Oh, here's my Hungry Jack. Here's my potatoes. This is a big, huge box. Okay. I'm looking to see. I think I do. Basil, garlic, and oregano. Now, have you guys ever made I'm trying to think of the word. Bruschetta, however you pronounce. This can right here is the perfect ingredient for making that. And it's just open the can and heat it up and plop it on some like crostinis, or like take a baguette, cut it into like long diagonal slices, toast them up, bada bing bada boom, you got a nice little appetizer. Yeah, I think this is going to help a little bit with the flavor. I'm going to get rid of some of the juice Well, I mean, if we're cooking it down, I don't know what to do. It's pretty thick. I think I'm going to leave it. Plop those guys in there. Now that is cheating a little bit, probably. And I'm going to say we probably need to add a little bit more salt. But I think this is going to give us more of a, like, cooked in flavor as opposed to just kind of having... I'm just worried these fresh tomatoes turning into pizza sauce is just going to taste like tomatoes with basil on them as opposed to pizza sauce. And I'm working my way around here too, just kind of smashing them with my wooden spoon. But I will pull out my potato masher if I have to. Don't make me pull out my masher. Okay, that being said, what's next? I don't know. I think we're just going to have to wait for our tomatoes to be done. And what we're going to end up doing is I have a bunch of mason jars. And I figured I'm not going to can them, but I am going to just make sure that it's nice and sealed closed. And I don't know. My other thought is if they're glass, I wouldn't necessarily be able to freeze them in glass, right? So I'm wondering if I should get some plastic containers. Don't you love how I work this out right in front of you? I do have enough. I'm trying to figure out if I was making like a pizza or sort of like... the whole reason this started, believe it or not, was because I was going to make meatball subs. Okay? So I'm like, okay, instead of just like buying the pizza sauce and buying the buns, I did buy the meatballs though. I was going to make the pizza sauce and make the buns. And that's what started this whole potato yeast project in the pasta sauce. The pizza sauce. So, I don't know. I think it's going to need a little more salt. And I'll tell you what else is kind of missing in my mind, because I feel like fresh garlic or minced garlic is kind of a one-note kind of place. And I need more of a roasted garlic flavor in my head anyway. So, a little garlic powder. I love that it gives a little bit of a different... And you don't need a lot, because remember, we put a lot of garlic, minced garlic in there. I love that I keep stepping on my cord. Okay, put that away. All right. Just hanging around my neck. All right, so let's see. Oh, I like that. I like it a lot. I still think it could use more salt. And we are halfway through the process, and I did put sugar in, but I think I'm going to do a couple more pinches. Couple two trees since I added some tomatoes since then. Luckily, the nice thing about adding the diced tomatoes is that there was no prep for that, which is nice. And then the other thing is that it has like I said, it already has the seasonings in it, so I'm hoping it will help us in that respect. All right, I'm leaving the camera for a second because I'm going to grab, hopefully, what I can use as, I don't know, these might be too small. Okay, so if you were making a pizza or using it for, I might need to do like 2. But I have these throwaway containers that I could probably fit a couple cups in, maybe? I don't know, does it have? Nope, it doesn't say how big it is. All right, so let's see how many. 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 8 of them. And then maybe I'll put one or two mason jars into the, yeah, see, it's really busting down, which is really good. I'm wondering if I can mash while it's sitting on here. Don't fall over. Okay. I'm just worried it's not going to be thick enough. That's my fear, because I left so much of the juice in there. I mean, this is really kind of nice because it's really just kind of doesn't need any help from me. I don't know, too, if it almost seems like should have taken the skins off. But this lady said, do not need to take the skins off. Da, 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 da. She did. I don't know I did not start streaming. What the heck? Okay. I don't know what happened there. I hope it didn't cut us off or anything. We're still going, right? Cool. All right. So I think other than just waiting for this to cook down for the last 10 minutes, I wasn't done updating you on my children, was I? So yes, we're still looking for a place for Jordan. He got screwed, but you know what I told him? I'm not that type of person that says, everything happens for a reason, because I've always told you guys that I hate those things. But what I did say was, you're being led to where you're supposed to be. So don't necessarily go with the flow always, but don't always fight when things turn out not the way you wanted, or the way you think you didn't want them to, or the way you thought. Oi, you know what I meant, I hope. So other than that, he's doing really well. Yeah, I got 4 jobs, but no place to live. Definitely an interesting position to be in, from me all the way 1,000 miles away. And then my daughter, Peyton, her school's homecoming is next week. So we're going to go there and visit for homecoming and watch her perform. She's in the choir and the band now. If you didn't watch some of the other episodes, I thought I had them all turned the right way. Other episodes, a couple back, she changed her major and now she's a music education major and she wants to be a band teacher, director, marching band teacher, director. So she's been at her middle school now for a couple weeks and she loves it. She loves hanging out with the kids and teaching them how to use the different instruments and such. So that's going really well and I can't wait to see her next weekend. And yeah, I think that's not too shabby that they've figured out what they want to do. I mean, they might not always, I know they worry about jobs and such, but I mean, I think if you're, like I've said so many times before, doing what you love, I don't want to say the rest will follow. I mean, you have to do work, which I've seen them do over and over and over again. So, they just have to allow the anxiety to dissipate just a little bit. And that's coming from me, and I'm the most anxious person in the world. So to say that to them is being hypocritical, of course, and would never, I mean, I have, would never expect them to relax, even though I've asked them to, because I'm the same way. Oh, it's getting thicker. Yeah, this is turning out pretty nice, actually. I think I'm going to let it go a little bit longer, though, you guys. So you might not get to see me package these bad boys up right this second. But I will show you when we're all done. I'm probably rubbing this thing up against the microphone this whole time. so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark them and freeze them, and yeah, put the date on them, and I think that's about it. I think we got a lot accomplished today. We got started with so many new and fun projects. I needed a break. I needed to, the recipe is just, it's either going to be the death of me, or I'm going to figure it out. I'm just not even going to let it take up any more space in what's left of here. So, okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then actually hold that thought. You know what's going to happen too is I'm going to have to let it cool for a little bit also before I like put it into those containers. So I will take a quick break. Take a quick break, let it finish, and I might even put it in the fridge to cool down so it'll cool down faster, so that we'll be ready to package them all up and put them in the freezer when I come back. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm back. So it turns out we're not even going to be able to show you the rest of the product today, but I will take a picture of you and show you how I put it into these containers, because I still have to blend it. I thought I was going to be able to get away without blending it, but turns out not so much. But I will finish up. Oh, I did want to show you what's happening to our yeast already. Can you see? It's separated. Uh-oh, I think it's coming through the lid. I think I'm going to have to get a different jar. Anyway, turns out I'm going to have to show you what happens with the sauce in a couple of posts, and maybe I'll show you the end product next week, because I have to let it cool down in order to blend it. And yeah, so we'll get back to you next week. I want to thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. And we're on this new quest to start making some of our own things. So I hope you will join us for that as well. So with that being said, I just have to let you know that I appreciate you all watching, and I can't thank you all enough for your support. And I guess I just have to say to have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching. Bye.